God Shadow with Grixis control, preparing for the Modern Challenge tomorrow. Last week we finished 5-2 and came in 17th with only 2 losses to Zoo, Big Zoo, and Black White hate beers. So Eldrazi hate beers. Both of the games were really close, and then this week we also had a couple of decent finishes, a couple of 4-1s, 4 or 5 this week. No 5-0 though. Every time we were close, we fucked it up last minute. Kalitas has actually been overperforming in a variety of ways, to a degree that I might be willing to go up to 2 copies of Kalitas, but I do think that might actually be too much. 1 Kalitas, I mean, we can get it back, so 1 Kalitas should be enough. I put in 2 Nihil spell bombs instead of 2 dispels. I'd rather have some more Graveyard Hate and a little bit of stuff that we can do on turn 1 against Jund. That's actually relevant because we're getting beaten up by Blood Red Elves left and right in that matchup, and Kolaghan's Command is definitely relevant. So last league we finished 3-2. Lost to Sneaky Pete again. Before that we had a 4-1, and also our only loss was to Sneaky Pete on Ad Nauseam. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad matchup. Like, we were playing 4 dispels and 2 dispels, 2 counter squalls in the sideboard, in addition to all of our discard and other kinds of disruption. The problem was that Sneaky Pete somehow manages to have all of his post-sideboard games with Leyline of Sanctity in hand. We even still managed to sneak 1 win in there. But yeah. We also lost to Baikodegia here in a very close match. He was playing humans, which is actually a good matchup, but we were choked on mana, and then he had a really aggressive and insanely disruptive draw where we just couldn't handle all the creatures and all the disruption. Like, he had Champion of the Parish and Kaiser Freebooter into Champion and Thalia, and so the next turn we already died to a Thalia's Lieutenant. And he took our only way to interact. Alright, so we're on the draw here against Predict. And we're playing against either Shadow or Lantern Control. Might be. Still any of the above or Tezzerator. Taking away Logic Knot here. A little bit strange, I would say. We are gonna Fat Shock, set up our draws a little bit, and then next turn we can decide whether or not. So I'm gonna So he shocked into Thoughtseize and has a Mishra's Bowl. So against Death Shadow, or Grixis Shadow, Terminate, or 5-color Shadow. Terminate would be one of the best cards to draw here. Against anything else, it's the worst. So we're gonna put it on top, but in a way that we can still shuffle it away if need be. Okay. No plays here by opponent, so we're just gonna keep on top what we do have on top already. We're gonna look for a little bit of a discard spell. There we already have it. And then he was bottoming. No, he was putting our logic knot to the bottom, so I assume it to be relevant in the matchup. We're just gonna wait and see what he does with the Bloodstained Mire here. If he's gonna fetch shock, I'm pretty certain that he's playing Shadow. Yes. Okay. There's a Street Wraith. Alright. So good that we kept the Terminate here. He does have a... Yeah, he certainly does have protection here. We're still gonna try it in order to set up the Terminate next turn. Alright. That is somewhat weird. I mean, he can play Death Shadow, of course. Yes. Question is, would he do that? Yeah, we're still trying to have a look at his hands here. Fatal Push, another Death Shadow. Tasker, yeah, he'll be able to cast next turn, but we can prevent that again. So we're gonna keep up. Our logic knot. And then kill his Death Shadow as soon as we have the option to. And then we're going to try to turn the corner. So he's probably trying to keep up a Fatal Push here and doesn't have. So worst case scenario here, we do get the Fatal Push and therefore protect our Jace. Yeah, alright. He also does have a Gormagangler. So he needs a mana and then he can deploy the Gormagangler. Which of course wouldn't be great, but it's also not the worst. Gonna kill this one. And then we can also raise him. Like if he has a mana source, then he has to shock. And we get in 4. And that's not enough. Or is it? 7. Alright. Sure. So what's the best line of play here? Should we try to get in with our creeping top hit? Should we try to bounce it? Alright, so that's a stubborn denial. So I don't think he has another one. Or a Snapcaster Mage. So we're gonna go to his upkeep, then Bounce Draw. So he has one again. So yeah, one more mana and we could actually go. Creeping Top Hit and like simultaneously also kill him, right? But that's not yet the case. So we have to play Jace here again and yeah, block and then hopefully get through it with the top hit. He needs to break here one turn. And then we might be able to get it. He does have a lot of outs though. Every fatal push is lethal, bold is lethal, dismember is lethal. Also a Snapcaster Mage targeting Timo Battle Rage would be lethal. Okay, that's Shadow and Inquisition. Okay, looking for another card here. So, alright, and we got there. Nice. Very nice. Alright, so let's have a look here. Scorpion got bigger than many of his things. Definitely gonna bring in Defulminator Mages. I'm gonna keep Liliana. Electrolyze. Oh, Nil Spam Bomb. Definitely gonna bring that one in. We might want to have one surgical extraction. Like if we can go turn 1, snatch a Death Shadow, then his threat suite is a lot less threatening. What else do we need? Like, we would like to have access to one damnation. Nimble Obstruction is actually pretty fine in the matchup because it can, like, they don't have a nice way to get rid of it. Fatal Push, not great against a 3-mana flash threat. And then we do still want to have 2 of these. Maybe we want to cut one here and go with 2 Logic Knots instead of 3. let's see. So we're on the draw again. There's also a case here to be made for counter walls that I actually like a lot in the matchup. So he targeted himself and apparently wants to draw whatever he has hidden underneath. I definitely want to protect the Liliana if that is possible. Alright, Death Shadow, Fatal Push, Gourmag Angler. I do think that the Gourmag Angler might be one of the most relevant here. He can bring himself down. I mean, he doesn't have Thought Scour, right? What's more relevant? Death Shadow or Gourmag Angler? Here he has to, like 2, 3, 4, 5, still 2 mana away from. We're gonna go with the Death Shadow. As we're hoping for him to not be able to cast the Gourmag Angler this turn. So not finding a Thought Scour in the best case. And then we might be able to deploy. Alright. Sure. There's the Angler, which we would have been able to snag now. I mean, it's still not too bad, right? If we can get down Liliana next turn, that is fine. Just need him to not draw anything of relevance here. Okay, there's another Liliana. Alright, that's perfect. That is great. So we take 1 hit. We successfully protected our Liliana here. We also do have Surgical. Yeah, we're being a little bit careful in regards to our life totals. So in here, we don't know that he does not have much going on. So in his draw step, I mean, he's also not yet at a low enough life total, so we might not still want to go after the Death Shadow. All right, so we're gonna get whatever he's going after here. There are visions, so we're gonna exile that one. Where's his hand? Fatal Push, Snapcaster Mage. Alright, so there's another Snapcaster Mage in his hand. He still has 1 Liliana of the Veil and 1 Liliana of the Last Hope in his deck. And 3 Death Shadows, of course. Alright. So a little bit of a numbo going on for him there. Then he has a Fatal Push and a Snapcaster Mage. Can make him discard one of those right now. Gonna discard our Bloodstained Mire. Alright, there is the Fatal Push. Our Snapcaster Mage is not at its best here, but we still might want to go after the Death Shadow. So we're gonna play Nimble here instead of Snapcaster, because he can, in response, go Snapcaster and Fatal Push our Snapcaster, but he can't do the same with a Nimble. There's also, like, except for Thought Scour, there's not a relevant target in his graveyard. So I do think we're going to play this here. Play our Snapcaster Mage. Like, he's most certainly going to go and in response go Snapcaster Mage of his own. Yeah. So he's utilizing his Snapcaster Mage here to Thought Scour before we can do anything. And that is actually fine, because we want to hit the Death Shadow anyway. So we're going to do this first. Right, he draws a card. Then he has to discard. Stubborn Denial, not relevant here. Discards a Scalding Tarn. We're gonna go after his Death Shadow. Oh no, he has Liliana the Last Hope in his hand. Oh my goodness. That's bad for us. So I was really close to just targeting Liliana. Yeah, definitely not good for us. But he most likely cannot get rid of it this turn. I go for our Liliana. He can either kill ours and attack our Liliana. Yeah. And then we attack his back. Sure. And there's a bauble. He might already want to... Right, he doesn't. In order to protect his draw. Alright, so there's Pure and Kieran. I'm not gonna take up Liliana here in order to protect our Pure and Kieran. Both of which are very good here. And we definitely need to get rid of his Liliana. So I'm actually quite alright with the trade here. Yeah, he went after our Lily. And now is playing what? Kolaghan's Command makes us discard. Yeah. Makes us discard a card and gets back a big threat. So opponent has drawn really well. Is that any helpful to us? I mean, it might be, right? We might be able to block Gormag Angler and kill it. We might also be able to kill the Snapcaster Mage here, or is that too greedy? Yeah, I think we're just gonna kill the Snapcaster Mage here. Alright, I'm gonna do that anyway. So we do have one more draw step. Opponent's drawn. My goodness. Yeah, so we're gonna take that one out. I'm gonna bring this in. Feeling a little bit better here with those. We might also want to have, like, logic nodes are alright, but not exceptional. Liliana, Last Hope. How important is Fulminator Mage? No, it's actually pretty good. They don't have so many lands. There's Fulminator, we're going to keep. Alright, so important to note here that he doesn't have access to counter Fulminator Mage. So if we can get rid of, like, one of his most important sources here. Okay, 2 Lilianas, perfect. That's definitely good for us. 2 out of 3. Turn 2 Tesker, horrible. But we are gonna take him off blue. Or not. Cryptic, interesting. And there's a Death Shadow, a 1/1 shadow that is. So, is he saving on his Street Wraiths here? Or should we just go after Watery Grave and look where that's gonna get us? I think we're just gonna go after the Watery Grave. Yeah, so he also had a Street Wraith, so he was setting up there. To do unethical stuff. Taking 6. Gotta figure out really quickly here what's going on before we do anything else. So if we get back Fulminator Mage and we block him for 1 turn, we still need something to get rid of this guy. We do have a redraw here, which might be relevant. might also be more relevant than anything else. We know that he's playing Timur Better Rage. Have we already made a land drop this turn? Do think so. Yeah, we played an island. So we're going to put this on the bottom, put this on the top, play Spellbomb, cycle the Spellbomb. Yes. Yep. Draw a card, exile this graveyard, have a look, find a Terminate, go top, and then next turn, hopefully, have Terminate and Logic not up. Okay, I'll take 6 here. So I do not want him to have two things that we can't handle, right? One, two. Do need a second red source. This one's a good one. Okay, no plays there. A little bit strange. Now we have lethal on board. And there's a Death Shadow. Fatal push. So the thing I'm most scared about here, or most scared of, like, I mean, Snapcaster, of course, isn't great for us, but that would force him to use the Polluted Delta, and then he'd be down to at least, no, I do think he can only shock here. That means he would be down to 3. We'll take a little bit of time here to figure out what the best line here is. And the most, like the line that promises most success. I mean, he could have a blank, he could have a Street Wraith in hand, could have any sort of thing in hand. Snapcast Mage by itself is not so problematic. We could also just go discard and get back PNQ and Lara. That would then turn on additional Thought Seizes, of course. We could also just put him to 4 like block one if he doesn't have a fail push. If he has a fail push, then we still need to block 2 times and attack 2 times. If we attack here, we could also do the same with the Fulminator Mage. Like deal 2 damage to him and have him be dead on board. The only problem is Teemo Battle Rage, right? That is the concern here. That's why we most probably cannot take the line. And if he tags us next turn, so this way we can actually attack with at least 1 Thopter, which puts him to 5. And then if he can't kill the other Thopter next turn, then we have 2 in the air. Alright, so it's a Snapcaster Mage, as expected. But he would have to fetch for 3 here. And that leaves him, like if he wants to stubborn denial it, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so we played around everything that we could, and now we're leaving it up to his top deck. Blocking Death Shadow. Not going to block Snapcaster Mage because afterwards we might have another shot at blocking the Snapcaster Mage, the Death Shadow, and buying us another turn. So here we're gonna go straight up to the dome. GG's. All right. So first round, tough game against Grixis Shadow, the quasi mirror. No, actually, not a mirror by far, but a fun game to play and watch, definitely. And he even drew a Snapcaster Mage there, which is, you know, an insane draw, like going snap and snap. Well, predicts. Yeah, we got to join the game, of course. I'm gonna keep against an aggressive hand here, like an aggressive deck. We might opt to go Blood Crypt first. Jorge Tyler or George, depending on however you want to call it. Yeah, so this could be a control shell. This could also easily be Storm. Okay, so this makes it a little bit easier for us to go for Zero Visions here, because we don't have to put up with the turn 2 blowout Baral that we can't kill in our turn, or Electromancer, if that were to be the case. I also like these two, like we have a lot of efficient turns ahead of us. Definitely want to go Zero Visions and then either a Thoughtseize or Lightning Bolt next turn. And just, you know, keep looking for lands and interaction depending on the matchup. Oh my goodness, we're playing against another Grixis control. Grixis Shadow deck here. Oh, it might also be, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It might also be the blue Ancestral Vision Ascendancy deck, or whatever it's called. Not Ascendancy, but as Foretold. So he has 2 Ancestral Visions. So he already drew the card that he wanted to draw, which might have been like one of like the Terraria West. Curator of Mysteries here doesn't make any sense. Cryptic Command, also not yet in reach for him. I might take an Ancestral Vision because at some point he's definitely gonna draw. This one goes to the bottom, this one goes to the top, and then next turn we're trying to find yes. So we'd like him to see suspending Ancestral Visions here, right? Then we have 4 turns. Yeah, do it. All right, so now we have 4 turns to find a Nimble Obstructionist in order to get rid of it, which is a little bit nicer than like all the other stuff that could be happening. Should we be shocking here? I almost don't think so. Bottom top, we do want to have the Jace in order to be able to redraw. Yeah, in case he doesn't draw Mana for Cryptic here. I mean, oh, he's also land stuck. Okay. We could, of course, just be waiting. Remands. Mana Leak would be bad for us, yeah. Remands here. Just gonna replay it. He's looking for lands. Still has 3 time counters, so 2 more turns for us. Street Wraith. Land. So we need to live through this turn here. Good. Come on, man. Give us the flip Jace. Give it to us. All right, good. So we're gonna flip Jace here. Probably gonna get rid of one of the bolts in favor of all the other stuff, because we really need to strip him off. I mean, mountain's also not great. So we'll test his rule knowledge now by thought seizing out of the graveyard. If he wants to remand it, then he might be up for... Is he cycling? No. What is he doing? He's casting the Nimble. Sure. Not a problem, mates. Alright, so he apparently knows the rules. He's not going for remand here. It doesn't have any payoff for a... The question is, what's more important to us? Probably even the remand. Instead of the... Yeah, because, I mean, we still need to get rid of both cryptics here before he comes around with his... Alright. Oh, there's the living end. Yeah, we might actually bottom. Let me check this real quick. MTG domain, and we're gonna look for the... Is it listed on the living end? Is it blue living end or something? No. I think I remember the deck only to play like 1 or 2 living ends. So I do think it's important for us to get rid of that one. Alright, so if he's gonna go ahead here and play his cryptic command, then we're gonna counter and bounce the Teleria West. Actually, no, we're not gonna bounce the Teleria West. He's just gonna transmute it. In case they have another living end coming up. But yeah, so I mean, we have to do this here. He's forcing us to. Still fine, since we have Jace up. And now we can also safely deploy the second copy of Jace. Zero visions. Top bottom. Not a clear cut, I imagine. There's land. Alright. So we're gonna have a look here once more. would like to get rid of the other cryptic that he still possesses. 1, 2. So this costs 7, this costs 4. Oh, he has Bujuka Bog in his hand. Well, that's not too bad. We're gonna take this one anyway. And we will lose access to all of our graveyard. Thankfully, we used the logic knot before he could play Bujuka Bog, because otherwise we could have been stranded there. Yes, the card we knew about. Oh yeah, by the way, so recently I bought a couple cards from Canada, which does have the same card stock as the US cards. And being a European, I was really confused as to like how bad your actual card quality is. And we're going to fetch for a black source here. We do have access to another Steamman's, so no problems here. Alright, would have been better if we actually had, something to do with it. I'm inclined to discard the Terminate here, but that's probably not the correct play. We don't know though if he has more stuff floating around. So we're gonna do this and then play 1K command just to test it out. What he wants to discard. Another Field of Ruin. So yeah, that's what I meant, right? We only have one more basic to fetch. So him not playing the Field of Ruin there is actually quite relevant for us. Let's see what Jace provides for us. Bloodstained Mire, definitely don't want to have that one. Land. Tularia West, definitely one of my favorite cards. It's just like so neatly designed, really nice. Like it a lot. We do have 4 mana here to activate Warring Funeral and then keep Logic Knot up. Yeah, this time I'm not gonna discard the land. We still have access to Terminate through Jace. So this, and then we get in and start bashing. Unsure as to what he could have here. I mean, we can only hope that he doesn't have anything relevant or doesn't find anything relevant soon. If we find a bolt though, he is already dead. Oh my goodness. This is horrible. This is horrible. Yeah, we're gonna go here for this first again. We do have both these up in case we need them. One Ring Funeral is a 2-turn clock. And any bolt, as I said already, is lethal as well. Next turn we can also go call against command, and have logic node as backup. We do have the mana for that. Alright, he continues to cycle. And he might be willing to play something big here. And if he does, like if we can force him to tap out here. Alright, continues to cycle. Alright, and loses. So Scorpion God, I do think, is almost unbeatable for them. Definitely want to have Fulminator Mages. They don't have many non-basic lands, but they do have some. So do want to have them. Nimble Obstruction is definitely relevant. We also would like to counter the Bojuka Bog trigger, but I really need to know what's that called? Living as Foretold, right? Living as Foretold. More. All right, let's just have a quick review of what's going on here. If this is what they're playing, probably close for living at. All right. As this. All right, so this is a completely different list. So we're going like to. So if he plays Leyline of the Void, that would actually be bad for us. But other than that, we want to bring in as much counter magic as we can, as well. Oops, wrong one. As well as our Nihil spell bombs here, right? So we want to have the Nihil spell bombs. We want to have the counter squalls. We do want to have these surgical extractions in case we can snag living ends. I think these are exceptionally bad here. And if you like, if you're paying close attention throughout, like almost all of our leagues, our Lilianas have been, especially of the Veil, has been just horrendous, like really, really bad. We want to have one Damnation just in case. Scale down a little bit on our cryptic commands. Go down a little bit here. Only have 4 slots though. Lightning bolts certainly, well, actually super bad. Oh, we're gonna get this in, gonna put this in. Would also actually like to have these 61 cards. Yeah, we're gonna play with 61 cards here. Okay. We do have Nimble, as I already stated, probably one of the most important cards in the matchup. Also want to see, like, he doesn't have any here, but we know that our opponent is playing at least a small amount of Nimbles, and we boarded out 1 cryptic. Alright, so can't touch him at this point. So completely off color here, of course. We're gonna play an early, like turn 2 Snapcaster Mage. Super ugly islands there. Early Snapcaster Mage. In order to put down some pressure. Yeah, Curator of Mysteries. And there is Teleria West. Alright. I'm gonna go for a watery grave here. This might actually want to fetch us another red source. Okay, no land, which is interesting. Do want to go for a Steam Ends here and just play the Snapcaster Mage. He's at 16, so it's an 8-turn clock. That's not too bad. We don't have access to bowls, so we wouldn't be able to cast them anyway. So good that we had a look at the list here. Leyline of Sanctity. What? Okay, so he's like always pretending to play something and then decides against it afterwards. Nihil Spellbomb, definitely good pickup here. Alright. So opponent's still looking for lands. We would like to go in the defense mode now. I would also like to see, for instance, a Field of Ruin activation here that we can catch or something like that. There's Nimble Obstructionist that we are going to counter. It's always like you have to be aware of your opponents playing Nimble because of your fetches. It is really annoying to be thrown back to the Stone Age. Just by not being able to play accordingly. So he's actually going for the thing here. As foretold, yes, resolves. He doesn't need the mana. He might also be, yeah, that's what I wanted to say, be holding on to his Ancestral Visions in order to wait for the As Foretold. Is it relevant for us to snatch off the Nihil Spellbomb here? I do not think so. We did find a Terminate, so we're going to shock in case that becomes relevant. So, I mean, he can play things on our turn now as well, right? But the Nihil Spellbomb gives us a little bit of leverage to keep him at bay. And he's also like, he's at 10 life. He missed the land drop last turn again. So that makes me think he either has a lot of counterspell magic in his hand, or he has drawn like all of his ley lines, which might also be the case. He definitely has a little bit of a headache here. All right. we can't do against anything against Sash Revisions. But opponent still needs to find an answer for Snapcaster Mage. Yes, there's a Field of Ruin. And we hope that he's going to activate it. I mean, in theory, his Nimble Obstructionist could counter our Nimble Obstructionist. But that is a corner case. I would also like to hide the fact that we do have another Nimble, or that we do play Nimble at all. But if he is going to play something else here, and he didn't use the As Foretold to play, or he used it to play in Sash Revision, of course. Okay, top. Weirdly enough. So he has 9 cards in hand. We're gonna go to clean up. Like, Nimble, of course, would be a 2-turn clock here, but he can't have no counter magic in his hand. And we're hoping for him to play either a Flash Threat here, or to go and tap out for a creature that we then kill with Terminates. Another As Foretold. Yes. Bujuka Bog. Not really relevant. He does have the As Foretold here for counter magic, but this time I actually want to force him to use it. It's also possible that his counter magic does not involve anything against creatures anymore, and that he went to Dispel and the likes. So now we do have a Cryptic Command, not the worst. He's down to 3. Street Wraiths do get worse at this point. He does have a lot of mana though for this turn. So I mean, at some point he probably has to play something of the likes of creatures. He just needs to play creatures. I mean, he has a lot of them, right? Why wouldn't he play them at some point? He needs something flying. Alright, so he's skipping the -2/-2 clause here. Which is weird. I'm not going to fight over it. He's probably going to take the Cryptic, but I want to be able to resolve another Nimble if we need to. I mean, he's still dead on board. So now he cast Living Ends, which we of course we can't counter. Oh my goodness, we have to target him. Oh my goodness, that is bad. That is bad. In response, we're going to cycle our nimble in order to get it back. Then try to play the counter squall here. Probably gets countered. Is being remanded. Oh, he's remanding his own living end. All right. So he has 2 flyers, 3 flyers. Oh my goodness. The ley line, fuck. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be even, playing here. Damn ley line. Yeah, we can win. So I do think we're gonna take back Cryptics, P and Kernel are definitely leave in Fulminator Mages. Like them a lot. I'm gonna get rid of Collective Brutality just because, like, if we're being stranded with brutalities, that's gonna be horrendous. Yeah, that's gonna be it here. Keep. So we need him not to have a ley line. Keeps hand. So the 5-card hand was a snap keep, but there is no ley line, which is super important. Super important for us. All right, so this is going to be, as foretold, trying to find Zuka Bog, nothing else of relevance. We're gonna go Snapcaster. He can send out the Snapcaster, and then he can decide. All right, never mind. Sure. So we're just gonna go ahead here, Inquisition him again, take the Sensor, or another as foretold that he would be playing next turn. All right, so we're gonna run it back. So he can also only play his ley lines by having access to as foretold. So it's important for us to take it away. Also because it's just like the most important card here. Two living ends, super important in case we draw a surgical extraction. super important that we do have one in the graveyard. I mean, afterwards he can still win by just casting his fatties, but having like not to worry about it, still very, very good. Okay, so we might be thinking about actually attacking here with the tar pit. At least for one turn, putting him to 15. And Sash Revision entered the exile zone. Okay, so that's also a sign of weakness that I would like to utilize here. I mean, he needs to do something. He needs to cast something, he needs to do something. He only has Field of Ruin against our Creeping Tar Pit. He went to 8 now. So this already looks very grim for him. Now we do have Countersquall as a backup. He only has 2 cards in hand, one of which is a Living End. So even if he has a counterspell here, doesn't really matter. 3 time counters. Okay, what is that? That actually is a creature. Yeah, so we have an unblockable manland, so creature doesn't matter. Alright, so 2-0. Tough matchups up until now. Really tough. Before putting in new cards in your deck, or new old cards, I really wanted target plays graveyard, yeah. So I thought we would just be exiling the graveyard. That really is a problem. So we're on the draw once again. On the play, this hand would be really nice. On the draw, don't know what he's playing. On the draw, it's on the slower side. Okay, Bridge, Lantern, or Tezzerator. Any of the above. Jace, in any case, is very good in the matchup. We do want to have both of these in order to generate a little bit of pressure. So we're going to go top. Yeah, so he targeted us. He knows that Thoughtseize is coming. And how we are going to play the next turn depends on what he's going to do here. Sure. So I'm inclined to think he's a Tezzerator list. He might also be the blue mono blue, like other Tezzerets. Alright, so he also saw that we do need lands. I'm not going to show that we do have a second island. Jace, certainly one of the stronger cards that we could have here. And also certainly stronger in the matchup than Search for Scanta. Okay, so he's looking for a blue island here. Simian Spirit Guides. Engineered Explosives for 2. He's going through length to getting rid of the Jays here. Alright, we're gonna play Bloodstained Mire. Leave him unknown about our intentions. I do know that he has 3, 4, and 5 mana spells in his deck. At least I believe to remember that. So we're gonna counter this here and then go Pian Kiran Alar and threaten him on board. And then afterwards we still have Snapcaster Mage and Pian Kiran up. And loading now up. Looks to be a difficult matchup though. So this could be Jace, this could be another bridge, alright. And Pithing Needle, which gets countered. Well, let's just wait and see. He certainly needs cards as well. Does have a Mox Opal, a Mox Opal. Nimble, good card. We can counter the Inventor Sphere if he wants to go for it now. So, okay, he's not playing, so he might have a Word of Invention or a 1-mana spell. Might also be the case. So we're really looking for a Kolaghan's Command. He has a welding jar, but like with Snapcaster Mage, we might be able to get rid of all of it. A card that's even better would be Cryptic Commands. I expect him to pay for Inventor Sphere here. No, it's a War of Invention. Alright. Actually is a War of Invention. Alright, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Cannot pay for 3, right? I'm not completely mistaken here. So Worth of 3 makes me think he wanted to get access to another bridge. Oh my goodness. X equals 2. All right. We already might be at the point where we want to go and play P and Kiranar a second time. Oh, maybe not. We don't have access to Logic Node anymore, which is not good. Another ensnaring bridge. It is getting harder and harder. Thing is, though, we shouldn't have exiled. We might have not exiled the. Oops. Sure. The Jace calls the Colligan's command. Like what we really want to do here is flip a Jace somehow. There's a tezzerator. Okay. I guess he's going to go for the -X. Like, I mean, he can also untap to our effects, but like this thing is gonna die this turn. Pretty certain of it. Oh, it actually might not. If he takes up, then we can't kill it. He doesn't know that though. So opponent is telling us very proudly that he's 4-0. Alright, so we're gonna cycle here. We do have Nimble again. And we also do have a Colligan's command, which is pretty good. And we want to save the Colligan's command. And actually we also want to save the Nimble. Right, so what did you play? Some sort of land, I assume. So first things first here. Draw step. We might want to get rid of Chalice of the Void. He can bounce or borrow, so this card isn't a thing. Okay, so it's getting annoying. Return. Destroy that one. So I mean, yeah, we like if we draw another Colligan's command, we can actually counter the counter trigger and then kill stuff. Oh my goodness, this is so horrendous. Okay, so we're gonna play another PNK and Lar. Get a little bit of Thopters going on here. By now he should know that we don't have counter magic up. But we still do have outs. We do have outs. Very importantly. And we're gonna do this now. We're gonna play that one. Gonna cycle the counter trigger. I'm gonna set up to find action. Okay, and this is clearly no action. So what do we need? We need a lot of things for this to go in our direction. We need to have a cryptic. We need to have a Jace. Oh my goodness. Bottle Cloister. The worst of the worst here. So now he's gotten to draw extra cards each turn. Eventually find whatever he wants to find. Yes. We are not finding anything. Like here you want to have a Shatter Storm, right? Like here you definitely want to have a Scatter Storm. But the only thing that we actually need is just a damn Cryptic command. Come on, Cryptic. Come on. Ah, close. Close, 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 close. I bet opponents just made his opponents fall asleep and then didn't have to play it out. Don't see a reason not to run the third PNK run out here. Then like have 7 damage if we ever get through. I mean, this is unreal, right? Like, this is unreal that we just can't do anything. Talaria West. Do we actually want to counter that one? Probably not. Want to see what he's looking for here. Tormod script. Yeah, I don't see how that's relevant. Should we counter that one as well? I'm not certain. Yeah, Colligan's command, sure, is great. If we ever get to it. Alright, let's cycle. To make our logic not better, maybe he's just preparing this turn to be a big turn for him. And to play something. So we do have a Jace, now we just need a Cryptic in order to bounce the Chalice. The 2-mana Chalice, that is. But we found another land. Not the worst, not the worst. Cryptic or Colligan's Command? I mean, Colligan's Command doesn't even do it. We don't have access to our Nimbles anymore. Alright, so Liliana of the Veil actually is a little bit different here. Now we only need a third Nimble. Like, we have a couple of draws that are quite potent here. Thoughtseize will never hit anything in this game anymore. So we either need a Nimble to deploy both Jace and then Liliana. And then after Jace, we do have access to Colligan's Command again. So opponent, I mean, we could also dead draw him here, right? Pretty sure Terminate isn't good in the matchup. Yeah, so we're trying to save a little bit of time here. Just gonna skip through the turns up until I find one of named spells. So, I mean, it's not over yet, right? We actually do have outs. Like, we do have outs. But we're not drawing them. Like, at this point, we have so many outs that I cannot even imagine that we have so many outs. Nimble, 2 Colligan's commands, 3 cryptic commands. I hope our graveyard is still going to be relevant at some point, because I sacrificed a Nimble in order to save it. So I don't know how many of these Tezzerats the Seeker he's playing. Might be playing a lot. So he's definitely also like saving on stuff. Thoughtseize, sure. Discard the Thoughtseize. Well, maybe we just went to like decking him here. I don't know. Like, he has 18 cards, so that's 9 rounds. Artificious Intuition. Oh, there's a Cryptic. Alright. So let's try to win this game. Let us actually try to win the game. So we don't want to have 0 inversions anymore, because we also are running low on cards in our deck. So now, end of turn, we are going to bounce the Chalice here on 2, so we have access to draw a card 2. So we have access to our Snapcasters again, as well as Jace. Jace actually being the more important one here. He cannot play, like, he also can't play a lot of his spells, right? Like, he can't play the Ensnaring Bridges, like, he can play, what's also important, Pithing Needles and stuff. So, yeah. And we definitely, like, if he has counter magic and we haven't just seen it yet, then we do have to fight over this cryptic command here. He might also be wearing in response or something. Yeah, that looks like a Wear of Invention for something. For an artifact card with X equaling 5, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana up. I do think that we can manage 9 mana. I mean, it doesn't matter, but we'll just pretend that we have another one. So x2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 11. I mean, he easily can go for another war. He does have the mana. And the Summon Spirit Guide. What did he just do? What happened here? Oh, alright. He does have Summon Spirit Guide to pay. He had 2 Summon Spirit Guides. And he found a Grafdigger's Cage with his Bottled Cloister. This is insane. What a game. What a game. Right? So I think the war brought in a Grafdigger's Cage here. Here, this one. This is more important actually than anything else. He still does have the welding jar, so that's that. So now what we can do is, in case he tries to get rid of our Jays here, we are going to get back a Nimble, which we cannot do at the moment. Okay. He's going for another Engineered Explosives here. Academy Ruins. Okay. Not sure. Oh yeah, the Engineered Explosives, but he has to put that on top. He then has to use Mishra's Bauble, so he can only do that next turn, I assume, but I might be wrong. Okay, Jealous again. What's the worst card in our hand? Might be Lightning Bolts. So we cannot flashback stuff. We therefore need to tick this one up. But then, yeah, end of turn, he's just gonna go grab Engineered Explosives and then Tormund's Crypt. I don't think he understands what we're trying to do here. Like, I don't care about my graveyard, mate. At least not right now. He has 10 cards left in his deck. I mean, he is preparing for another tezzerator here, right? And I mean, Tezzeret still has to somehow get through here. And I do have like 10 damage on board. for it to not survive. And he only has 10 cards left in his deck. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Another Whir of Invention might be the case. But we are going to make him kill us. Like, I'm not playing around with this shit. Chalice or Chalice on 4. Alright. Like, the only thing that he himself can play now are 0 and 5 mana spells, which is not a lot. Certainly is not a lot. Alright. So, only card, like, we have one Nimble left in our deck. Nimble and Cryptic together. Like, Tomon's Crypt, he should be going for Engineered Explosives here. Like, we only need like 2 more Jace activations, and then... Alright, he's preventing himself from decking. But he's only being able to do that once a turn. Yep, Crypt, alright. I don't understand why he's doing that with a Crypt, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Playing around his own... Oh, that's a Witchbane Orb. Alright. So we cannot target him with Jace anymore, even with his ultimate. What he doesn't know, though, is that we do have a 3rd Nimble Obstructionist. So that we actually can, like, we still have an out here in the game. He doesn't care anymore. Like, he's not even trying to get rid of Jace. So, I mean, you know, all of the options here are bad. And I'm still not sure, like, if he wants to... One, two, three. Yes, Welding Jar. Okay, another Welding Jar, sure. So he's drawing 1 a turn. We are... Oh, shit. Ah, damn it. The Jace. I mean, we do at least need 2 more turns in order to find another Cryptic and another Nimble. But we are not gonna give this up. And if we have to deck him, we are not gonna give this up. I still don't know how he actually wants to win here. Alright, now he found the Engineered Explosives, and now we also, like, we are actually a turn too late. Or he might get rid of the Thopter tokens. That might also be a thing. Okay, so x equals 5 with 4 Sunburst counters on it. Okay. Regenerating Witchbane Orb wants to get rid of our P and Kieran Lar for us to not be able to kill his Tezzerator. Thing is, though, like, he needs to win this turn then, because next turn we go. Okay, Engineered Explosives. All right. Yeah, we're gonna... Oh no, we can't make him discard. We're gonna shock ourselves and return a creature. We can also make ourselves discard. It doesn't matter. Oh, it's being countered. I'm sure. Already forgot about it. Okay, so we do have an emblem here. And we actually can attack now. Not that it really mattered. He's 46 life. But when he's gonna kill all of his 0 mana shit here, yeah. So we want to get rid of our tokens somehow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see if we can actually manage to like grab this game. Just assume that he doesn't have we're just gonna go full blown attack here. I should have done that a turn earlier. But even so. So we're going to attack for 11 a turn, and that's still... Oh yeah, sure, that's why. We don't have anything to search up anymore. I think we have one funeral left. No. Might have one funeral left. He's gonna get another ensnaring bridge, which is probably not gonna be relevant. So he just wants to kill us here through decking, and that's just not gonna be good enough, I think. We're gonna bounce his Witchbane Orb, and then we instant kill him. What a nasty game. What a nasty game this is. What a nasty game. So upkeep after he's used all of his shit and he activated Academy Ruins, we have to do all our stuff as soon as we find a Nimble. Yeah, we have to target him. Nothing that I misread, or just didn't take into account. What's going on here? Is he doing that to us? No, there's the second nimble the last nimble obstructionist. Oh my goodness, you freaking lucker. Alright, so now we can actually concede. We're definitely not going to lose this. Definitely not going to lose this. Was quite happy with almost all of our cards here. I'm gonna go down a little bit on like some of our stuff. Liliana actually like can ultimate here. PNK and LAR are still somewhat reasonable and important. Not so important is Lightning Bolt though. So this deck's actually, like, I mean, this is more of a fuck up than Lantern Control is. He still needs to win the second game fast. Like, he's got all the triggers, he's got all the stuff going on. And apparently he's only winning by milling out the opponent once you get rid of the tezzerator. And we can do that. We do have options here. So I boarded out Jace. Keep. Because of Pithing Needle that he does have. Defense Grid. Oh my goodness, this is all horrible for us. Horrible, 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 horrible. So I don't actually know what we want to be dealing with here and whatnot. So Grafticus Cage is a problem for later. Defense Grid will come up pretty early and we won't be able to do anything anymore. So we're going to take this one and then yep. Play over 1 mana stuff out here. Actually, we're behind in time here. This is really bad. Gonna go deploy a Snapcaster Mage as soon as possible to just have something going on. We could do the same with the Nimble Obstructionist, but as it stands right now, yeah, alright. So it's gonna be a Nimble. Field of Ruin, sure. Don't care. Even better. Wait. Undo. We actually... No. Yeah, well, he can take it. That's fine. We need to get a clock going here. Gonna have a blue mana. Thopo Orb, sure. Sure. Cannot do anything with that. Need a second blue source in order to do something. Witchbane Orb, oh my goodness, it's getting bad here. Like, this is Artifact Ultra Prism. Artifact Ultra Prison. So Snapcaster Mage is in the game. We are going to attack like a motherfucker. We're also going to deploy the Nimble this turn if he doesn't have an answer. That's probably going to be an Engineered Explosives, 1, 2, or 3. Might also be a Tormod Script once more. But that's nothing that we... yeah, Engineered Explosives, alright. So he doesn't have access to 3 different types of mana here yet. He can have now, of course. But yeah, so he's doing, like, sacrificing everything here for himself. Yeah, so in order to get up to 3 here, we're just gonna counter it. Attack for 5 again. He doesn't have. Also good. He doesn't have any. Alright. That was somewhat easier, I would say. I would argue. Alright, 1-1. Yeah, he has all that stuff going on that we don't like. We're still gonna play Jace. Really want to deploy it on the second turn. On that, like, we have lots of stuff going on. Shadowstorm in this matchup would be excellent, but we have a very good spread of our mana curve between 1, 2, 3, and 4, so it's not too easy for him to block all of it out. And the same goes for his own spells, like he's blocking a lot of himself as well. So pressure definitely gonna be a key in this matchup, but I don't feel too bad about our overall matchup here. We have to play fast. I do think that we're a little bit behind. But yeah, so he has to have a lot of things. We have a lot of interaction. But I have to admit, I actually like his list. We're on the draw here, and this is not perfect, right? Not superb. Still gonna keep on the back of being on the draw and having access to enough lands. Yeah, Jace, Prince Prodigy. Okay. Might have been a little bit too positive, the keep here. Top orb, sure. And he also has another land. So a pretty good hand he had going on there. Yeah, we need to find something. Like, we already scryed 2 lands away. There is absolutely nothing that we do have going on here. Just drawing lands doesn't help us a lot. Tolaria West, superb in the matchup. We could have countered it here, or tried to counter it. Ghost Quarter, alright, so he wants to hedge against Creeping Top Hit, which I do think is fine as well. We're gonna wait with Nimble, because we're not in a situation yet where we actually want it to be used. We're gonna play Piankir and Alar. It won't get any creatures, but next turn we are gonna deploy Jace. Maybe we can threaten his tezzerator a little bit if he intends to play it right now. He has 5 mana. He would need to like use all of his mana, and he probably does here. X equals 2, alright. Certainly not the best. as well. Like if we had more stuff, you know, in our hands, like counter spells and such, then we might be thinking about like actually utilizing x equals 4. He's doing that like just to get rid of P and Q and LR. Okay, so he actually doesn't have anything here. Yeah, I'm going to use Nimble and just put up a clock. I don't care anymore. Yep. Gonna use this now to be able to redraw, to be able to do something. We're not like in front here, but we're not too far behind as well. And that's what's really like keeps us afloat. Inventor Sphere, good draw here. Damn it. We're gonna make him use his Ghost Quarter. He needs to find a bridge with Inventor Sphere. Yeah, he's probably gonna do that now. We sadly can't do anything here. Man, this is horrible. This is horrible. I mean, we have so many things to do, so many plays. We just can't play any of them because we don't draw them. Yeah, great. Thank you for nothing, as always. Deck. I mean, this is really bad, right? This is really bad. So we're gonna attack with P and Kieran here, so that we have that going at least. Okay, put on top, put on top, put on bottom, put on top. Yeah, we're gonna wait here for next turn, see what he's up to. Bottle Cloister, sure. So we're gonna do this end of turn now. On top of the, all right. Destroy this here and make him discard a card. No, actually, we want to deal damage to him. And then we're gonna get rid of the fucking the fucking bridge. Yeah, he already has tezzerator in his hand. That's gonna be too slow, mate. That's gonna be too slow. We're attacking 4-8 now. No 5-0 for you. I do think. Getting overly excited here. So opponent asking us there if he can trade us some treasures for the 5-0. And like, this is not the first time that I've actually experienced this. And he wants to give us 7 treasure chests, which isn't even half of the 16 that you get for 5-0. So he wants to fool us. Yeah, GG's. Opponent, GG's. I don't even know if we are allowed to like concede for a split in prize pool. We probably are. Don't think it's too bad, but I still wouldn't want to do it. Like, I'm too competitive. I was living in Italy for a while, and I mean, it's common, right, that people split in the top. And when it was like 3 or 4 at night, and we were only like top 4, and it was 300 euro, 400 euro in the pot, then we would also split the prize pool. But other than that, like, I usually like to play it out, even if that means that I'm getting less. But usually, yeah, that's how I roll. So 3-0, we had 3. Oh my goodness, matchups. Oh my goodness, matchups that we have. But definitely interesting ones as well. Definitely interesting ones. Hopefully not too boring. This is gonna be a long video. Has sent me a message, so he probably wants to tell me that they're actually... Where can I see messages here? Chat? All right, so he wants to be watching us here. Yeah, so told him that we're gonna take a short break there from recording the video. All right, we're going to keep. No. Yeah, I knew it when I saw it. So this is the guy that I played yesterday when I was 4-0, and he's playing Benchvine. Our deck's not well equipped to handle it. We do have 2 surgicals, we do have 2 nihil spam bombs. So we have a little bit, but it's not gonna be enough. Like if he has a bench by draw here, and they always do. Street Wraith. Like what we need here is for him to not have a super fast second turn, right? So then on the third turn we might be able to stabilize with Kolaghan's command if he goes into a hollow 1 there. He's definitely content on dealing damage to us. Yeah. Bridge from below. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So here, yeah, there's hollow 1, sure, of course. What else? What else? Come on. This deck, man, this deck. Like, what's this? We're in turn 1, by the way. Opponent has, you know, some creatures. I do think that we play Snapcaster Mage. Take 8. Or take 10. Kill 1 zombie. Go to 7. Then next turn we will have Kolaghan's command to kill this one and another one. And then the turn after that, so that's only 4 left then. We're going to 3. Bridge from below, finally going. He doesn't have many cards left. Yeah, so I mean, like anything that he does here that deals damage to us will kill us. But we're still playing to our outs here. Bolt. Bolt would be Sortoric Artifact. Kill one of those. We go to 1, and we need basically a basic mountain or a bolt. Basic mountain or bolt. Okay, this guy has menace. Basic mountain. Ah, close. I would say that was pretty close. Cool. Cool game. Cool game. Kalita is definitely gonna be a thing here. I'm also gonna bring in Scorpion God, and Fulminator Mage is just for the sake of countering stuff like the bridge from below. So we have 71 cards here. He can just, like, counter spells are horrendous in the matchup. He just plays everything for 0. Doesn't care. Both bad. Yeah, well, Yeah, it might be worth to trim these as well. Let's go. Let's go into our certain death. On the draw, actually, would we like to play first? Definitely. Otherwise, I think we are just going to lose. We're going to keep here. Go for an Inquisition. Gonna get Blood Crypt. And let's see what is going on here. Bridge from Below. That's something he wants to have in his graveyard, correct? So no, we're not gonna do that one. Insolent Neonate, probably the hit here. Like, he would have had a insane, and then if he wanted to, he would have had an insane turn 1 already again. This way, though, we are going to play a Nihil Spellbomb, which is going to be helpful. We do have mana, and we can decide on leaving everything on top here in order to play Scorpion God at some point in the game. Dum 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 dum. So what are we going to see here? A Hangback Walker for 1. Yeah. So if he's playing fair, then well, we won't have that many problems, I imagine. So I would actually like to make him discard, but I know that he's gonna discard the Bridge from Below then, and that forces us. Oh my goodness. Are we dealing 2 damage here? I honestly do think. Just target artifacts. Deal 2 damage. I do not think, I do not know if this is a mistake, or we should actually not do this. And I also don't know if, like, him discarding Bridge from Below here actually makes a difference. Yeah, he already gets the trigger here. All right. So we would like to have the draw. 4 power on board is not too bad yet. Let's see what he's going to do. If he's going to take our Terminate or our Polluted Delta. So that the Bridge from Below here does see, in fact, we should have known from the Insolent Neonate. Oh, he's actually taking the Terminate here. And then he wants to force us to use the Nihil Spellbomb. Is that so? Yeah. He actually does want to force us here. I mean, this is still a 2-for-1, right? So I'm actually quite content with it. He might have also not taken the Scorpion God there because he knew that his Bridge would have otherwise been exiled from the graveyard. So that might also be the case. I don't know if that interaction does exist. So we're taking 4 here in next turn, fetching for 1. So we're going to 11 and then deploy Scorpion God. I do think we know about, yeah, Lightning Bolt in his hand, and that is already it. So hopefully he doesn't have an, oh my goodness, he has a second Thoughtseize. Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, this year is close to cheating, obviously. We still have a lot of decent hits. Warring Funeral, one of the worst ones, because Bolt is catching it, and we're also on a 3-turn clock. So we're going down to 8 here. Bolt. Yeah, it doesn't help us at all. The only thing that we can actually do is block a zombie. Or try to block something with a Fumarole. If we block the zombie, we're just dead, so we're not going to do that. But I'm trying to block Tesker here, and then killing off the zombie. Alright. Lightning Axe, even worse. So he still has a bolt. My goodness. I mean, you know, for real. We might have not played it perfectly, but yeah, I can't say anything to this. So 3-1, Mifidro. Here, Mifidro with 2 undefeated victories, 5-0s. And yeah, so I mean, what you see here among the top decks, it's just unfair decks everywhere. And even with the amount of graveyard hate that we do pack, just insane. Just insane. Though, I mean, I have to say, like, making him discard a card there definitely was a mistake. I didn't think that Bridge from Below would see it because, I mean, our spell resolves already, right? I mean, this is a fine hand against many. Still gonna mulligan because we can't really play with a 1 mana hand. But again, like, I mean, we're on the draw again. Gotta bottom the cryptic commands. That's a little too slow here. Alright, and we're up against some Jund in the final round. Alright. Let's see what's going on here. Let's hope that he has a slow hand, and he kind of does. It's not perfect. Definitely gonna get rid of the Goyf here. The Bloodbraid will provide value for him, but that's still way off. And now we do have a decent curve, and he actually does need to find some removal for Jace. Probably found a Liliana already and goes straight into it. Making it problematic for us, but you never know, you never know. Yeah, so there, alright, so there comes Lightning Bolt. He might have also wanted to give himself the opportunity, so he still has these two lands here. So actually we do know all of his cards in hand. So there's no reason for us Inquisition. And this is actually quite decent. So he played the Forest, he still has these two cards. We are going to play the Nimble Obstructions here. Put a little bit of pressure onto the board. Blood Crypts. Yes. And then go into Piankiran Lar and try to raise him. He does have Raging Ravine, and that's definitely problematic. But next turn he's going to go with the Bloodbraid. And so we do have two turns to find some sort of a removal. Also, Piankiran very good against Bloodbraid Elf and against Liliana of the Veil. He drew another land here. That is also important to note. Oh, good. A Goyf. My oh good was actually an oh god. Like, we would have been able, or we can handle, going to block with Piankiran here. We're going to attack for 4, block the Raging Ravine, and let the Tarmogoyf get through at this point to buy us a maximum amount of time. Another Goyf. I mean, the Goyfs could still be growing, right? So I do think, like, from a game perspective, it is more relevant here. Okay, that's good. Can actually get rid of, like, both Goyfs. Oh my goodness. Found another Piankiran Lar. Which one's better here? Attack for 5. And then next turn we have 7 damage. That is even 10 damage with evasion. So we're actually going to discard this one here. So would of course be horrible now if we were facing a Maelstrom Pulse. So this is 5, he's going to 7. Next turn, like, we're going to block with P and Kiran Lalar and might take 6. Going to 1. Yeah, 7. I think every life point is relevant here. He has to come up with something. We can at least let this through without any harm being dealt to us. Interesting. Nope. Actually gonna go with this one. Okay, let's Inquisition him. Dark Confidence. Yeah. Great. Game 1 goes to us. So let's think about this. Definitely Scorpion God. Definitely Fulminate Mages. Neil Spellbomb. I mean, it's not bad, right? Because he's bringing in Graveyard Hate against us. And it's a 1-mana cantrip. So we're gonna bring that in. Going down a little bit on the counter magic here. Trying to make our stuff a little bit better. And then we're gonna take this one out. And we're going down to 1 nibble. Yep. Opponent has taken some time, has some thinking to do. Right, snap keep. If he does have or doesn't have a turn 1 Inquisition, which he does. So I assume that he's protecting a Liliana rather than a Bloodbraid Elf. Definitely not protecting a Goyf. Sure, Collective Brutality coming in. Alright, so we would like to not let him know about this. So we're going to play the Sulfur Falls here. Yeah, so there's his Liliana coming, and we might already use our Needle Spellbomb here. in order to evaluate what we really want to sacrifice here or get rid of. Yes. Right. We do know, of course, Terminate's going to be important. But in my opinion, the only thing that we can currently get rid of. So here, I'm gonna go get a Blood Crypt to have double black and double red. And so what are we going after here? We might be going after this one, we might be going after this one here. Might be inclined to take the Blackleaf Cliffs. Except for Thrun, the last troll, he doesn't have a spell with double green. So that's not relevant. Double black is relevant though. And the red mana might come in at some point. So now I'm definitely going to discard the Zero Visions. I do expect that he is playing creature there. Yep, Scavenging Ooze, which we are going to kill. There's one creature in our graveyard. Scavenging Ooze, like, if it's being left alone, is even worse than Tarmogoyf against a control deck. Okay. Abrupt Decay. Sure. Do think that we're going to cast the Snapcaster Mage here in order to draw or set up our next draws. We don't have really much on board, so if he ultis here, I mean, that's his thing. We're gonna go top in order to draw the island first, and we're hoping for him to break here, and break meaning that he's only drawing a land. Or a Bloodbraid, that would also be okay. Alright. So this might actually be a Bloodbraid. If we go and play Piankiran Lar here, he's gonna tick up. Which takes away the Kolaghan's Command. Is there any other good play that we could do? I mean, we could be waiting here in order to really leverage our Kolaghan's Command, and then in response to Liliana, like, he has something in hand, right? If it is a Bloodbraid Elf, Kolaghan's Command is of importance. If it isn't, then it's still important. But we are gonna lose. No, our Piankiran Lar. I'm just gonna do this. Yep. Yeah, blood braid. See, that's what I thought. And having that knowledge. Okay, Raging Ravine. Not using. So he probably has another blood braid elf. Could certainly be the case here. We are still trying to raise him again. On him. Liliana. Just in case he has a bolt. So if there's a blood braid coming, yeah, he drew 2 blood braids. Alright. Thoughtseize. Well, that's a dead draw, and you might not want to cast it. Alright. And he actually has to leave it on defense here. We can kill the blood braids. We can get back a Snapcaster Mage, which is pretty nice. But more importantly, we can actually get back a Fulminator Mage. I do think that's actually better in order to kill the Raging Ravine. So this does a couple of things, right? So we're preventing him from casting Blood Braid, from casting any of the Lilianas. Alright. So this was a decent league, with the exception for the Vengevine Hollow One matchup. That's just abysmal. But yeah, was a lot of fun. Jund felt quite a bit better with how we played in comparison to what we did a couple of days ago. Might also be my gameplay. Yeah, so great games overall, great league. Thanks for hanging around, and see you guys.